This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for Tuesday, August 20th, 2024. I'm Marek Mazurek. In a merger that sees two historic companies combine, Nix Industrial announced Tuesday that it has acquired a majority ownership of New Albany-based Hunselman Sheet Metal Fabrication. Hunselman General Manager Parker Hunselman called the deal historic for the impact it will have on metal making in the southern part of the state.
This integration to one another is, it's historic for the state of Indiana, and it's very exciting to me to know that, we're sitting in a high percentage of size in our industry now, not only in the state form, but nationally. And if we do this accurately, we can start to impact a lot of lives with employment, not only in New Albany, but Evansville and so on.
The combination of the two family-owned businesses creates a workforce of more than 200 employees. The financial terms of the deal were not disclosed. The deal is Nix Industrial's largest acquisition, and it positions the company as one of the biggest metal fabricators in Indiana and one of the 40 largest in America. Nix started as a blacksmith shop in 1902 and now focuses on custom manufacturing, with the automotive industry being a main customer. Nix Industrial is based in Poseyville. The IEDC plans to ask the state for $50 million to support bonds to finance a new pipeline that would send 25 million gallons of water to its LEAP Lebanon Innovation District. The LEAP District is the IEDC's major effort to draw giant tech manufacturing to the state, but the Lebanon area doesn't have enough water to support the development. The pipeline now being proposed by the state likely would involve Citizens Energy tapping into water systems in Westfield and Whitestown to sell the resources to Lebanon utilities. The pipeline is expected to serve the needs of the park for around 20 years, but the area would ultimately need additional water supplies to reach its projected scale. The State Budget Committee is expected to decide on the request Thursday morning. The measure is an alternative to a proposed pipeline to LEAP from the Wabash River aquifers near Lafayette, which has met opposition from local officials and residents. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Indiana, your bold future starts here. IBJ Media, Inside Indiana Business, and the Indiana Economic Development Corporation invite you to the Engage Indiana series, presented by CareSource, Indiana University, and Old National Bank. With an unrelenting focus on growing Indiana's economy, our Engage Indiana events take place in every region of the state. Discover when we'll be in your area at ibj.com/engage.
NIPSCO this week announced the completion of a new solar facility in White County. Inside Indiana Business Radio's Alex Brown has more on how the project marks a shift towards renewable energy for NIPSCO.
NIPSCO says its new Cavalry Solar project in White County generates 200 megawatts of energy, which can power around 60,000 homes. It's part of the public utilities push to look at the most cost-effective and renewable energy sources. NIPSCO says that shift started in its 2018 and 2021 integrated resource plans. Cavalry Solar is now the third solar project NIPSCO has completed. It has another in White County and one in Jasper, with two more facilities under construction. The Cavalry plant also features 45 megawatts of battery storage. NIPSCO says it will generate $25 million in tax revenue for White County over the life of the facility. Alex Brown, Inside Indiana Business Radio.
And grocery giant Kroger sued the Federal Trade Commission on Monday, challenging an administrative proceeding meant to block its proposed $24 billion merger with rival Albertsons. The lawsuit filed in federal court contends the FTC's challenge to the merger is unconstitutional. Legal experts characterize the move as an extraordinary attempt to interrupt the FTC's enforcement powers, as it relies on a recent Supreme Court decision that limited a separate federal agency's use of in-house legal proceedings. In 2022, Kroger announced plans to acquire Albertsons in a major industry consolidation that the companies say allows them to better compete with retail giants Amazon and Walmart. But the FTC sued to block the merger in February, alleging that the deal would hurt competition and lead to higher food prices for consumers. Legal experts say Kroger's lawsuit could indicate the company is no longer trying to work out divestitures or other compromises with regulators. The move could also indicate that Kroger is gathering negotiating leverage. Posey County officials Monday broke ground on a bypass to reroute semi-trailer traffic around downtown Mount Vernon. It's a long-awaited project that is expected to ease congestion, improve roadway safety, and create economic opportunities. The new Western Bypass will connect to the existing William Keck Bypass with the goal of getting truck traffic to travel west and then north around Mount Vernon and onto State Road 69. Local officials tell Inside Indiana Business the bypass is a win-win because it creates a more efficient route for businesses and opens room in the town for housing and other growth opportunities. Preservationist and president of Indiana Landmarks, Marsh Davis, is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast hosted by Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Mark Mazurek for Inside Indiana Business Radio On Demand.